Hello YouTube. This is just a short response video to Mr. Nuttin Fancy, which I actually met in person. We're talking about the France gun laws and everything. So yes, I wanted to show you what actually we can have in France. We can have pretty much everything that you guys have in the US. We actually have less restrictive laws on certain items such as magazines or maybe even bullets. I don't know if in some states you can't have hollow points, for example. But yes, over here we can have hollow points. We can have 7.62 and we can have 300 with a mag. But the laws just evolved in 2014 or 2013. Yeah, late 2013. Sorry, early 2014. Concerning 300 or 308. Sorry. So yes, we couldn't hunt with that before, and now we can. It actually went into, okay, so this is the shooting club only types of weapons, and this is, for example, hunting weapons that you guys can have. Same thing here in France, that US or whatever. So I'll explain these weapons in a little bit. You guys just check out, you guys know what I'm talking about already. Okay, so in France there's two categories, like I guess in most places of the world. There's hunting weapons and shooting club type weapons. So yes, you can have either a shooting club permit. Okay, so you apply for your permit at your local shooting club, you pay for the yearly fee, and you pass the test. So you can have this, I'll just try to show you the documents without putting my name up and everything, you know. Okay, so yes, you have this document after you pass the test, and every year you have to have 3 shooting sessions that you have to get stamped by your shooting club. Once you have these stamps, you send a copy of this. You're at all a bunch of paperwork, and you send it to the French Shooting Federation. But this is your club president that does this for you. He sends you the green paperwork, and then after that, you could send it and apply for like a category like this type of weapon. But you only have to you can only get one weapon at a time, whatever. So you have to have, if you want to have like 2 weapons, buy 2 weapons at once, you have to apply for 2 things, and you do all the paperwork twice. But you could do it at the same time, but it's just you have to do all the paperwork twice. And once you renew it, it's a lot easier because you could just on one paper you could fill in all the different firearms you have, and it's a lot easier to do it afterwards. So yes, you have to shoot 3 times. Sorry, 3 times. In a year, is spaced by 2 months. So you have to shoot, wait 2 months, and then shoot again, wait 2 months, and then shoot again. Okay, so it has to be exactly 2 months minimum, or 1 day less. You cannot. I mean, it's like that. It's really strict, and every time you have to photocopy all the shooting sessions you have and send it to the state so that you can approve for another 4 or 5 years, whatever. 5 years now. They moved it up. So before it was 2 years, but now you have to apply for the license every 5 years now. So yes, you can have Glocks, you can have AKs, you can have certain shotguns, you can have heavy-barreled precision rifles. Just an example, for shotguns, you have to apply for this type of license if the barrel is not rifled. So this is a rifled Remington 870, for example. So yes, the gun laws here are kind of weird because you can have slugs like this, you know, that expand and spread out. You can have what's it called, non-lethal munition like this, which I use for self-defense and home defense, mainly because it does not kill. It's just like a non-lethal firearm. But then after, if there's a bunch of people that actually try to get into my house, then I probably put a couple slugs in like that, you know, to defend my property or whatever. But I would not open fire unless I know that the person would have a lethal weapon. Yeah, because then I would go to jail. Even though I would not be trying to kill these people, just trying to stop them, you know. So yes, we have to be very careful here. Because if you do pull out a weapon, then you like for example, if I pull out this weapon, I pass in front of the window, and I insult somebody in the street, and they see the firearm, then I could have the police come to my house and talk to me and ask me why. For example, I had a firearm out in front of the window and all this stuff. So it's really strict. I mean, you can't, even like you said, a civilian could interfere in trying to help out a police officer. In this case, yes and no, because if somebody sees you with a gun, then you could actually go to jail, or at least you cannot apply for the next time license for these firearms. So yes, you could lose your right to own a firearm just because you pulled out your firearm to try to help the police officers. I mean, it's the laws here are really strict on that like that. So I would not pull out a firearm unless I know that somebody's life is in danger. So yes, it'd probably be too late. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's how it is here. By the time you actually react, the person would have time to act. And if you wanted to respond, then it would be too late. By the time you grab your weapon, load it up and everything, you'd probably be gone. And I would not try and hop in my car and try to follow these guys anyway. So, I mean, I'm sorry, but this is how it is over here. The laws need to evolve. That's why I'm actually talking about this, because I want to expose the fact that we could actually have these firearms, we could have all these weapons. We have non-restrictive, like this is a 15 round mag for my Glock 19, for example. We could have this. I believe the new law allows us to have like 20 rounds, so we cannot have the 33 rounder that sticks out here. But there's always ways around these laws. For example, you could buy a Caltech, which accept the Glock mags. Then it's considered a long arm, and then you could have the Glock 33 and then just stick it in here. But if you have to have the 2 licenses to do that. So yeah, it's just always a question about money. I don't think this is quite democratic or whatever you want to call it, Republican or whatever. But this is how it is. So if you want to have like ways around the law, then you can. But it's everything to discourage this kind of firearm anyway. So, oh yeah, in France, the shooting type weapons represents about 200,000 people, and I just looked up. Hold on, I'm gonna show you guys. I just looked up. This is just a regular newspaper article. In 2011, you could probably see. In 2011 and 2012, it was like 1,200,000 over people. But this is going down fast because the young generation don't take interest over here as much as the older generation. I'm sorry about the shakiness about the camera. I'm trying to hold it as steady as I can. Yes, so the population of shooters is going down because over here we don't have big properties or government land that we could actually go hunt. It's all mostly private hunting. Organized, and we can only hunt with like a party. Then you join a party to hunt, so you like 10 people running around, and like the dogs lose to bring the game to you and all this stuff. And there's ways that they hunt over here, and you can't just go do whatever you want. So that's why I mainly just go to the shooting range and have fun over there. But I also have a hunting license, permit, whatever. It's like a driver's license, same thing. It's a card, which every year you have to pay. So I just didn't pay for the last year or whatever, so because I didn't go hunting. But yeah. Anyway, to keep these firearms, you have to buy your license every year. You have to go shooting at least 3 times, which in my mind has different problems, because if somebody lives 6 months out of the year outside of the country, then they can't really renew their shooting license. Yeah, so there's a bunch of problems like that over here, which is made, for example, if somebody wants to work in France, live in the US, over 6 months out of the year, so they don't pay taxes in France, for example, then they would have a problem with their firearm license, okay? So this is sort of the problems that I saw in the French law. And also the fact that it's kind of bad on education, firearm education. I think the education over here is really bad, because people think these things are lethal, but they're just like a toothpick or whatever. I mean, like a knife or whatever. It's a weapon, yes, of course, but these are just tools, okay? And over here, the people think they're like a bomb. I mean, it's like, this thing will kill you. You just look at it, it will kill you. But yeah, anyway. So Yeah, we could have all the kinds of. I just pulled out a few bullets, you know, like older style and whatever. I don't know. I just put it there so we can talk about it. So yes, this is a real weapon. You know, this is not like a. This is a real one. Okay, this is the Arsenal one. 7.62-39. I put a Zukov stock on it, ergo grips, modified safety, modified lever here for the magazine, Ultimac rail. Waiting for money for the little optic there. Yeah. So yes, we got the Glock. A little bit modification here on this one too. You know, safety lever, trigger mods and stuff. Remington. I'm actually gonna be working on this one later on, putting a better scope on it, better stock, maybe changing out the barrel. I just put the stock on my 870. Yes, and the extension. So yes, folding stock, shock absorbing. So yes, we have access to all this kind of stuff here. Yes, I will be making another video because I'm sorry I don't have time and the resources to edit all these videos. So I'm making about a 10-15 minute video, and I'll be making maybe another one afterwards. So this is just to talk about what we can have in France and how we can do it. Of course, if you're determined, this took me about 2 years to own. This was my third firearm, I believe. No, this one was my third, this one was my fourth, whatever. So yes, we can have many firearms. Okay, I believe there's a limit on like 10 or 12, I forget, on how many you can have on these limited firearms, which is plenty. You can have 1,000 rounds per year per weapon. Okay, so if you have 2 Glock 19s, then you can have 2,000 9mm every year, but you can only store 4,000 at a time at your house. Okay, so there's laws like that. Same for this one, which I think is kind of low, because if you go shooting a little bit with your AK and you know 30 round mags eats up ammo pretty quickly, 1,000 rounds is not that much. But I can understand that they don't want people stocking up 10,000 rounds of AK ammo, which they never shoot it or whatever. Which that ammo could end up going on the black market and all this stuff. So I understand that. I don't know if 1,000 round is good. I think maybe a little bit more would be better. Anyhow, this is just my thoughts on the thing about ammo. So yes, you could own this. You could have ammo. You could shoot it, whatever. You just have to watch out, because I don't know if when you shoot at the gun range, you have to pick up your shells and all this stuff. Yeah, it's kind of weird over here, because if your ammo ends up on somewhere that doesn't need to be, you know, they could trace it back to you and all this stuff. So I don't know. You have to be really careful. So yes, these weapons that you guys saw in the shooting in France were not legal. Okay, these are like ex-military weapons that came off the Eastern Europe, not in Europe, outside the Eastern Europe area, like the Balkans, whatever. Those weapons came from there. Okay, so they're not French legal weapons. Most of them were, in fact, fully auto. So I guess they're not legal here, anyways. This is you cannot have. This is not always. Yeah, this is semi-auto, huh? It's like it's not full auto. Even though you could put it full auto, whatever, it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't have the third pin, whatever. So yeah, this is Arsenal from Nevada firearm. I imported it, milled receiver. Yes, I had to modify the Zukov stock to fit it. I had to trim it down lengthwise and widthwise so it would actually work in here. Maybe they're gonna come up with a version that is bolt on for this, but I had to cut the bottom part that actually holds the stock here with the bolts at the bottom. I had to cut it, and then I don't have the bolt inside, so I only have like 1-2 bolts that hold it. But since it's a sandwich plate that pulls the stock, I guess it's good enough. It holds, it doesn't shake at all, and it's really sturdy. The problem is with this stock though, is when you fold it, since since the angle of the milled receiver is a little bit different than the one on the stamp receiver, when you actually fold the stock, you notice that it actually hits. Yeah. So yes, it hits the charging lever because of the angle. But this angle is actually not too bad. When you shoot it, you don't feel it. It's just when you want to fold it, actually interferes here. So if I close this and I don't put it all the way out, then the charging handle is here, then it closes. But then if you shoot it, it will hit this. So you can only shoot it once, yeah, if you want to have it closed, or else you just hold it a little bit out like this, and then you can shoot it, I guess. Well, yeah. So yeah, this anyway. I shoot it when it's open anyway, so I don't shoot it like this. I prefer it. I shoulder it. Yeah. Okay, and this grip, I like it. It's rubber, but yeah, I don't know. Some people don't like it. I like it. This lever, I just put it in. Was it about a week ago? I like it. It's okay. I mean, it's a little bit bulky. I think you could probably find a better one or a better way to do it. But yeah, it's okay for whatever it is. The safety, I like it, but the hole here. Not so much, because this was designed so when you close it, it's sealed and there's no dirt and grit that gets inside, which makes you know, this firearm reliable. So yes, if you actually close it, then you can see this stuff could get inside and jam up your firearm. Okay, so which takes off the reliability, takes away from the reliability of this firearm. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but this is mainly a shooting club weapon, so it's not a problem for me. But in case of WROL, you know, then I don't know if I'd like it. I'd probably slap on the regular safety on there if I have to drag it around in dirt or whatever. So yes, magazines, you could have pretty much whatever. Oh yes, we're limited to 10 magazines per firearm, okay, over here. And it has to be written by the armorer, which is like a FFL here. They write it on the paperwork which the government gave you to own this firearm. So every magazine is pretty much written on there. But for example, if one magazine is broken or whatever and you throw it in the garbage, I don't know. I don't really know how that works, but I think you could next time, every 5 years, you could tell them that you have one magazine that was broken, and then you just take it off your list, and you could probably buy another one. Okay, so I don't think that's a problem. But yeah, it definitely limits your magazine quantity to 10 per firearm. Okay, so if you want to have 5 AKs, then you know, 50 magazines. But yeah, I don't know why you want to do that, but anyway, you're not going to war anyway. You're trying to avoid it, right? Or just, this is just a symbol here. I own these firearms because I like it, and as a symbol, you know, to exercise my rights, because I know I have the right to have them. I want to have it. I don't want to use it. I don't want to show it. I just have it, and you know, I go to the range with it and have fun. But I don't like make a lot of videos about this kind of stuff. This is my first one, and I want to talk a bit about the truth in France and how it is. You probably could tell that I have an American English. I used to live in the US. I moved to France for school and all this stuff when I was younger. Now I actually live a little bit like the American way, you know, firearms and all this stuff, and have fun, go to shooting range. I also have a race car, which is this one. Yeah. So yes, I know about a bit about dangerous things, and I actually made a video. If you guys look in the channel, you probably find a car or whatever. It's a pretty nice one. But yeah, so firearms, fun stuff, cars. But yeah, about cars, there's more freedom here in Europe, because you could actually go to Germany and use the unlimited highway and all this stuff. There's a bunch of racetracks closer to your location than most of the places in the US, so you can have a local racetrack that's less than 2 hours away, so I mean, it's not too bad. For firearms, it's a little bit more complicated when you want to use like a precision rifle. because in France, I believe the maximum range for legal shooting is 300 meters. Yes. I don't know how you would go above 300 meters. Maybe you would have to go in the wilderness, which is not really legal. Um, I don't know. I'm sorry about. I'm not gonna say a bit more about that, but over here, most of the shooting clubs only go to 200. Uh, there's in France not that many that actually go to 200. Maybe like 4 or 5 in different regions of France. So if you want to shoot long distances, then you have to find a club that actually accepts this kind of firearm. But in the same way, those firearms are usually those shooting clubs are actually farther away from cities, so you have to go a little bit of drive to get to them. My local shooting club does not accept any of these 3 firearms. Okay, they accept pistol and 22 long rifle, like Olympic style. Okay, so you can have whatever caliber in a handgun, 25 meters. 25-meter range. You cannot walk up to your target. You cannot shoot at 7 yards, okay, and stuff like that. There's a bunch of rules like that I think are really painful, and it takes away the fun of shooting in France. For example, if you want to go to like a 7-yard shooting club, then you'd have to go somewhere else, So, yeah, or you'd have to ask permission to use the police range. Then you'd probably have to get an instructor from the shooting club to go with you, and and assist you, because you cannot shoot by yourself. So yes, you have to be 2 people to shoot at a shooting range. You can't go any day of the week. Most of them are only open like 3 days a week, maybe like Wednesday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday morning, for example. Okay, so if you guys work in that time period, then it's really complicated to find time frame for you to go shooting. So yes, there's a bunch of stuff like that over here, which makes it really painful. I feel like they're doing everything they can to stop us from having this type of firearm. So for the concealed carry, pretty much forget about it. Okay, I don't know if it's like Canada or whatever, but you can forget about it. You have to have a legitimate reason to carry a firearm. Okay. I don't know if this is going to evolve, but this depends on your state. You have to ask your local state to give you this permit. Okay, you have to justify why you want to use it, how you store it, how you transport it, etc. So it's really complicated. You have to build up a pretty big application for this. There's the main reason why you want to carry is because you're law enforcement or you're private. Funds transport or that sort of thing, so for example, if you own like a FFL store, you sell firearms, I don't know if you could actually apply for carry permit to protect your stock from terrorists or whatever to attack you. I believe this might be able to work for you, or if you have a jewelry shop that you want to protect, like high value stuff. But at the same time, if you look in Marseille, you could see that the jeweler that actually shot the guys that ran away on the scooter, shot one of the guys in the back after he pointed the gun in his face. Of course, you're not going to pull out your gun when the guy has a gun in your face, So you're going to wait a second for him to turn around, whatever, and then you're going to pull out your firearm and then trying to stop him. I believe he did not want to kill this guy. He just wanted to stop him to get his product back or whatever, and stop it from going and killing someone in the street. So yeah, so I really support these guys for defending their property and stuff. The law here needs to evolve in that way, so you can actually defend your property, your home, and your firearms. So yes, the problem is, for example, if somebody walks into your house and they have a knife, would you pull out a firearm? I mean, It's kind of complicated because if you pull out your firearm, you have superior firepower, which in the law you're guilty of. Okay, so you cannot pull out a firearm if a guy has a knife. Okay, he has to show intent of killing you. Okay, not hurting you. If he wants to hurt you, then you can't shoot him. You know, so this is kind of the law that we're facing here. If you pull out your firearm, then you're introducing lethal manner into the equation, so you're responsible for that. So yeah, I would personally, I don't think I would pull out a firearm. Okay, even if a guy walks out with a knife and stuff, I'd probably get stabbed, but he wouldn't walk out of my house. But yeah, he would not probably see a firearm, or he would only see it like on my hip or around the corner or something, but he would not have it in his face, because if I want to use it, I would probably use something like this, a non-lethal bullet. So in that case, I could explain to the court that I was having a non-lethal firearm, which I could actually, open up and put a slug in and make it lethal. So yes, this would probably be my defense firearm, because it has this flex between lethal and non-lethal. I would 99% of the time it would be non-lethal loaded. Okay, if I see 10 people walk into my house, then I would definitely go lethal, because these people have no intent of just walking in and say hi, and then they have superiority over me because they're more in number, into a manner that would actually be considered like a lethal equation. Okay, so yes, I would probably defend myself with that, but otherwise I would not pull out any firearm or anything lethal unless I feel that my life is in danger or somebody else's life is in danger, because I would go to jail for it. Or if I would not go to jail, at least I would be heard. From the police would take me in and hear why I pull out a firearm, all this stuff. But just this puts a writing on your record. Okay, not on your not like you were guilty of anything, but it puts a line on your record. Okay, so when you apply to renew your firearms license, they will deny it, or it will be held in process forever, because you have something written on your record. Okay, something that includes violence and a firearm. So this would lock up your renewing process. You would have to write to the court, your local court, and then if you have multiple things like that, then you have to write to Paris, and Paris would have to remove this from your record. Okay, so this would take many months, and you get stuck with your firearm. You can't purchase ammo, you can't sell it, you can't do anything. And yeah, this is pretty much France. Okay, so yes, you would not want to have anything stating that you're aggressive, or that you pull out a firearm, or somebody saw a firearm at your window, or anything like that. Okay, so these are the laws here. They're very strict. If you pull out a firearm, even in your home, you can have something written on your record, and you cannot renew your license. Okay, so this is very strict. So if somebody pulls out a gun in Paris to help out a police officer, they might get shot. Okay, because they don't know if they're terrorists or not. Okay, because most 99% of the people here would not pull out a firearm because of all these laws, and they know that if they do, then they would be considered guilty. Okay, pretty much. So yes, we need to work with government to make this change and make them understand that the laws here need to evolve in a more friendly way for hunters and shooters, so these people can actually defend their town, cities, whatever. As you know, most places are remote. A lot of places are remote, and the radicals actually settle in these remote areas, like they said in Belgium. And so I think it would be a very good idea to actually have the law a little bit more flexible for people that have legal firearms to help out police officers and stuff like that in these type of situations. For example, in a state emergency, if someone has a firearm license for a gun like this, I believe they should have the right to carry it. Okay, without having to apply for a permit, because we're in a state emergency. I mean, anybody could get shot, right? They could blow up your local store. They could blow up your whatever, So I think we should have the right to help out. So this state emergency would not last as long, first of all, because they wouldn't want all these people walking around with their guns. But at the same time, it'd make a really big statement to all these people, because if you have your firearm like this on you at all times, you'd be able to act really quickly. Anyhow, so I'm not gonna go into all this subject because this is a really debateful subject. But yeah, there's ways to actually help out the police officers, because, like they said in Belgium, we don't have the resources to be everywhere at all times. So this would be a good way to help out, because we do have the authorization for these firearms. We know how to use them. We train with them. Maybe not to the level of a police officer, but we could actually do some help, All right, so this is a little bit about France and their gun laws and whatnot, what you can do and stuff. So yes, we could have all these firearms and stuff. Yeah. All right, so I hope this was helpful for you guys to understand overseas gun laws. I'll probably do another video on this because it's already a half-hour movie, so, or whatever, not a movie, but a little YouTube video. All right, so peace out, and long live freedom, huh? Yeah.